Hey you guys, it's P, the Sagittarian Goddess. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you landed on this video, you landed here for a very important reason. Chiron in Leo, what a powerful placement to have in your natal chart. This placement can be quite uncomfortable, awkward, and it even has the potential to cause self-sabotaging behavior. But there is one incredible thing that this placement offers its host, and that is self-empowerment. Having this placement in my natal chart myself, here are some things that I've learned about having a Chiron in Leo. Chiron in astrology represents our wounds and the journey we take to overcome fear pertaining to those wounds. Leo is one of the 12 signs of the zodiac, a fixed zodiac sign ruled by the sun. When Chiron is in Leo, it has a difficult time shining. Can you imagine being the sun and not being able to shine? That just sounds so depressing and so unfair, doesn't it? Before doing the shadow work necessary when having this placement, these are some of the feelings that someone with this placement could experience. The sign of Leo is confident, romantic, creative, generous, and warm-hearted. Just to name a few positive traits of Leo. Its shadow side can be egotistical, stubborn, possessive, and dominating. Although all of these traits make up the amazing sign of Leo, they can be detrimental when operating from a lower vibration. In other words, meaning when your intentions are not pure. In particular, someone with Chiron in Leo in their natal chart will have trauma surrounding their creativity, their romantic relationships, and their self-esteem. With this placement, you will find one thing in common, and that is a lack of self-confidence. Someone with a Chiron in Leo will have a list of gifts and talents that they have yet to tap into because of a lack of self-confidence. Those with Chiron in Leo can have issues with their speech, with bullying. They can experience emotional neglect and also body image issues, just to name a few. What's so amazing about having a Chiron in Leo is overcoming the fear of being judged, overcoming the fear of not being good enough. Chiron in Leo provides a space for the host to explore its creativity in unorthodox ways. Not known to many, is a sign of knowledge, sacred knowledge. Similar to Sagittarius, Leo is a fire sign ruled by the sun. The sun shines light on what is dark. You see, Leo has a very mysterious quality to it. Chiron in Leo starts out in the dark. They start out in the dark, not knowing that they are shining. The Chiron in Leo has to discover that they are the sun. It's quite interesting because the Chiron in Leo is able to do a lot of different things, a lot of creative things, and they are pretty good at it. But because of trauma and because of how the universe and the stars align with this placement, it's for the Chiron in Leo to go on a journey, very specific journey, to discover the creativity in themselves and to share it with others. The Chiron in Leo is very inspiring, especially to those who have struggled with self-esteem issues. The Chiron in Leo are those that you will find that are inspiring people to show their creativity, to not hide their creativity, to be themselves. Because the sign of Leo, when operating from a lower vibration, when not self-aware, can be very unaware of its worth and of all of the great qualities that they have. And it's a really sad situation because the Chiron in Leo will receive a lot of recognition even when they aren't aware of their potential themselves. They will receive a lot of recognition for all of these things that they're good at and how helpful and how inspiring they are. But somehow the Chiron in Leo, because they have such deep wounds, will not quite understand how they are so unique and how they are such a star and how they brighten other people's days, because they have a hard time brightening their own days. But when the Chiron in Leo discovers its light, when they realize that they have the potential to shine light on their own darkness, the Chiron in Leo is able to overcome these fears. They are able to overcome these fears with confidence, realizing that no, they are not perfect. No, they're not the best at something, but they're good at what they do. It's unique and it's meant to be unique, whatever they do. How they love is unique. What they create is unique. And I find this placement so interesting because the Chiron in Leo spends a lot of time encouraging others and shining light upon others and others' gifts, but they have a hard time doing it themselves. This is something that the Chiron in Leo must learn with time, with patience, and also with experience. You see, this is a fire sign, so this is very passionate. This is very passionate, even when it's operating in the lowest vibration possible. It is still fire and it is still very fixed. And Leo can be very focused on its passions and not tell anyone. They cannot share this with others until they feel confident enough to do so. Sometimes the Chiron in Leo will require other people outside of themselves to realize their potential. The Chiron in Leo can have a tendency to depend on others for validation. This is until they realize that the light is within them. The Chiron in Leo then will go on to share this light. They will share this light even if it isn't perfect, because the Chiron in Leo strives for perfection. And this is a sad situation because Chiron and Leo, no one is perfect. So no matter how hard you try, you can get it almost just right, but it'll never be perfect. You have to realize that whatever you do is perfect in your way. It's not a standard way that something should be here. So Chiron in Leo, when you discover your light, this is when you thrive. Because you'll be going after your passions. You'll be doing the things that make you feel good. Because Leo is deep inside a hedonist, okay? The fire signs are. And the Leo isn't an exception. Leo oftentimes go after what makes them happy. The Chiron in Leo will do this when they awaken to themselves, when they are self-aware, when they accept their flaws for what they are and accept them as a part of them. And it's nothing wrong with their flaws. It's just a part of them. That is when they can improve their gifts and talents. That is when their creativity improves. They're really good at a lot of things, but they're not able to see it themselves. It's like even if the Chiron in Leo looks in the mirror and see beauty and see talent and see intellect, it's still not good enough. But when the Chiron in Leo sees its light, sees that it has the sun within them, this creates an amazing quality, especially pertaining to its connections with others. The Chiron in Leo has trauma surrounding romantic relationships. Early on in the life of the Chiron in Leo, they can get heartbreak after heartbreak. You see, Leo is a very loyal sign. And Leo loves love. So the Leo can get his heart broken early on in life, especially as a teenager or a young adult. Later on in life, when the Leo awakens, when the Leo does the shadow work to improve themselves, to heal their traumas, the Leo is able to be such a romantic partner in their relationships. Chiron and Leo can be very insecure when it comes to love, because maybe they've been rejected in the past due to love. But the Chiron in Leo, when they heal from this, they make very wonderful partners, very giving, very generous, very loyal, very romantic. The Chiron in Leo will go out of their way in love for their partner. And they are very fixed on their partners. They can be very possessive of their partners as well. The Chiron in Leo can be funny. And they may have a hard time expressing their humor to others, afraid of what people may think. Typical Chiron in Leo. But the Chiron in Leo, when they begin to open up, when they begin to share all parts of themselves with everyone else and with the world around them, not holding back, being unapologetically themselves in their own right, the Chiron in Leo is so inspirational. They become the sun. They become what they were meant to be. They heal those wounds and they shine bright, not only for themselves, but for those around them. The Chiron in Leo is a very powerful placement, very empowering. They are self-empowering. The Chiron in Leo can be very attractive, even when operating from a lower vibration. This is still the sun. This is still fire. The sun grows things. The sun wakes you up. It shines through your blinds when you're asleep, creeping under your eyelids, beaming deep inside of them. You see, the Chiron in Leo can be very poetic and they can be really good with words. They're very romantic. They are hopeless romantics. So the Chiron in Leo is going to love sharing this with others. They can be very childlike as well. When operating from a lower vibration, they can be childish. The sign of Leo represents children as well. Children bring light into the world. It keeps us going. It gives us something to look forward to. It continues the evolution of our human experience. Chiron in Leo is a challenge, but it's worth it. And if you have this placement, know that you are more powerful than you think. You may already realize that, or you may have a deep feeling within you, knowing that you have a life. And maybe you just haven't discovered it yet, but it's in you. I also made a Chiron in Leo video in the past, and I will link that in the video. If you haven't already, check that out. Go ahead and check that out. This is just a continued conversation on the topic, and I hope you all enjoyed it. This is the Sagittarian Goddess, and I will see you all in the next video.